Yayo said, Hov don't look out for me like 50 look out for him.
Oh, word? He said that?
I just want to clear that up. Hov don't have to.
All right.
You know what I mean?
All right, okay.
I'm chewing aloud on my own.
Right.
If Hov look out, I'm telling you, I'll be up there.
Right.
So when y'all see me out here, that's the Blizzle budget. But back to you, I'm sorry for cutting you off, but I just want to let niggas know Hov don't have to.
So with everything you
Maserati, Fox, real nigga, huh?
With everything that you saw, what would you change?
I just pray to God every time I leave the house.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to him out. And Hervé says loud, you don't gotta worry about nothing. You got 50. Jay-Z doesn't do nothing for these guys like.
When Jim Jones exploded on Memphis Bleek's podcast, listen to this. It wasn't just another rap moment floating across the timeline. It felt like a full-scale detonation that had been simmering for years. That kind of frustration doesn't just appear overnight. All that smoke was aimed straight at Tony Yayo. The tension got so thick that even Bleek looked caught off guard on his own show. And here's the wild part. Bleek and Yayo aren't even tight like that. So what made Jim snap that quickly? This whole saga spins back to loyalty, ego, and words that slice deeper than people admit. Respect is currency in this game. Memphis Bleek's stance is pretty clear when you think about it. He's been aligned with Jay-Z since the early Rockefeller era, moving like a younger brother under that empire umbrella. That bond is deep-rooted and unshakable. But Tony Yayo has been firing off subtle jabs at that camp for years, keeping old friction alive with slick little comments. Things really escalated when Yayo alleged that Jay tried to block 50 Cent from securing the Super Bowl halftime slot. That claim still doesn't sit right with 50's camp. That's not casual chatter.
I just said we just came back off tour.
Yeah.
You know, with Fifth, and we still touring. Still. And I do my own tours too for people. Be like, oh, yo.
You see,
I do my own tours. I did tours in Canada. I did a tour across the whole Germany and the Swiss Alps. And that's why I don't care about the hate. Cause I'm like, I got the possibility to do my own tour. Like something with Memphis Bleek. Memphis Bleek said to Nori, Yayo said Jay-Z didn't have us on tour like he did, or I eat my own halal. I eat my own halal too. If you want to say that, to Memphis Bleek, I just came off my last tour. All I'm saying is when you see Jay-Z in a setting, he never really, when he's doing a Beyonce show or whatever, you don't see Memphis Bleek on the stage and him being brought out. You know, even if I'm doing the hype man shit with 50, he's bringing me out. I'm making money. I'm going to.
That's that man girl too. That's it. That's Hov's wife tour.
Yeah, that's Hov. Yeah, Hov wife tour.
So I believe if Hov was out on his own, he would bring Bleek out. There is no need for him to bring Bleek in a situation where it looked like if this was last tour you're talking about with the Cowboy Carter.
Right.
Yeah.
So to me, because I look at Bleek as a loyal guy, like I'm a loyal guy to Jay. But I look at like Fifth, my guy Hervé. One day we had TRL, and it's the Young Gunners there.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to him out, and Hervé says loud, "You don't gotta worry about nothing. You got 50. Jay-Z doesn't do nothing for these guys like 50 does." And Hervé, I think he worked with them too. But he said that to me, and that always stuck in my head. Rest in peace to him.
Then Yayo pulled up on Shannon Sharp's show, Hold Up, already looking like he came to light a fuse. He didn't just throw the word hater at Jay-Z. He leaned all the way in and said, Jay never helps people win, lifts nobody up. Then he pointed straight at Bleek's career and said, look at Memphis Bleek. He ain't shining, he ain't winning. Jay don't take care of him like 50 takes care of us. That line right there, yeah, that's what froze the room. That line right there, boom, it sent shockwaves through the culture. That wasn't some light jab. That was layered disrespect wrapped inside a comparison, and it hit a nerve. Memphis Bleek has stayed solid for decades, never switched sides, never cracked under pressure, always riding for Jay. Now he's got people clowning him like he was left behind. That's personal. And it didn't just land on Bleek, it echoed through everybody tied to Jay's circle. That's when Jim Jones stepped in like, nah, not today. Jim wasn't letting that energy slide, not on a grown man level. He called out the whole concept of arguing about which boss takes better care of their crew. He said that mindset is corny. Straight up, loyalty ain't something you measure by handouts. He broke it down really simply. You can't feed your family off another man's plate. And that message hit heavy, because once that plate disappears, then what? That support talk sounds cool until it vanishes. All that debate about who gives more money or who puts who on, that's weak energy. Jim made it clear, real men stand on their own. If your homie helps you, that's love, no question. But turning that into a public scoreboard, that's not strength, that's insecurity. When Yayo brought it up, it didn't sound like sharp insight. It felt like he was looking for validation. He tried to paint Jay-Z as selfish, but the delivery made it feel like a competition, like who's getting spoiled more. That's a weird flex for grown men, especially when you're talking about two moguls who move in completely different ways when it comes to lifting their teams. So when Bleak pulled up on Drink Champs, he wasn't about to stay quiet. He had to set the record straight. According to him, there was never real tension with Yayo before. They've seen each other, even had...
The difference between me and other niggas, right? Stack Bundles, one of my favorite rappers in the world.
Rest in peace.
Rest in
Stack
peace.
Bundles.
Rest in peace.
Far Rock,
Yep.
you understand? Jim Jones, he had Stack Bundles, he had Max B. I looked at it like, great. You know, Stack Bundles had a Porsche and was still in the hood. No disrespect to Jim Jones. Fifth had me in Battery Park. I could walk out that barefoot. I look at the socks and look at it.
Get the
See,
socks.
that's when a nigga love you, nigga. You get the socks, nigga. Sneakers Dior, nigga. But I'm walking out there barefoot. That's when you know a nigga love you, boy. Because he making sure you don't get your shit split. Because you go back to 134, anywhere, Baisley, Brooklyn, pew, shit get split. Once I got shit, nigga shot my shit up. Bentleys and all that. Y'all can get that sneaker, just toss that over there. My shit's official. You know what I'm saying? Yo, look, but nigga put me in position. Rest in peace of Stack, but Stack got killed in the project with a Porsche.
Yeah.
Nigga, come on, nigga, I'm from the hood, nigga. Y'all niggas thought, nigga. I done been around the Black Justice and seen the Preems and all that, nigga. The E-Money bags, all that, nigga. The younger niggas under that.
So with everything you saw,
Maserati Fox. Real nigga, huh?
with everything that you saw, what would you change?
I just pray to God every time I leave the house.
But what would you change?
Change what?
Pass the cup.
I heard you talk about all the shit you went through, all the shit niggas is still going through.
What
Yeah,
God,
you one of them cups
listen,
just for
what
the
God
ashes.
got planned for you is planned for you, brother. God already knows what's planned for you in life.
God planned for you to come here and spaz on y'all niggas tonight.
I spaz?
I'm just saying, it was a plan.
I do be on some Hollywood shit in Europe. I gotta stop.
Yeah.
Something like, yo, stop talking about Europe. I don't, like, when you come here, you're not doing
Don't treat
niggas.
Vlad like that, bro. See how niggas is? See how
No, I
niggas
had
is,
nothing to do with
bro?
Vlad.
He ain't treat Vlad
do
like
with Europe.
this. He ain't
I
treat
do
Vlad
things
like
you have to
this,
do with
my
Europe.
nigga.
When you go to
This was never about money or chasing headlines. It was about respect. He's loyal to Jay, and that's firm. But he's not about to let anybody play with his name for entertainment. He said it without spelling it out. Forget Tony Yayo, period. Now here's where it gets interesting. Yayo's always been the type to press people if he thinks they're not holding down their team, and that same pressure is what pulled Jim Jones straight back into the spotlight. If you remember the early 2000s, the G-Unit versus the Diplomats tension was real. 50 Cent and Cameron were throwing lyrical shots, and Jim was right there in the mix while the culture was blazing. A lot of fans assumed that era was buried. Not exactly. Jim and Yayo have been sending quiet shots behind the curtain for a minute, and now it's resurfacing. But this time, it's not about charts or radio spins. It's about legacy, loyalty, and street codes. Yayo pushed it further when he sat down on My Expert Opinion and dropped a serious accusation. He claimed Jim left Stack Bundles in the hood, and once that name entered the conversation, everything escalated. Left him there to die. That's what Yayo said. Those are heavy words. That's not casual talk. That's confrontation energy. If you don't know who Stack Bundles was, understand this. He wasn't just another artist chasing a deal. He was one of Jim's closest people from early on. Jim signed him, took him on tour, and opened real doors. Stack was lined up to be next. The momentum was building. Then tragedy hit, and he lost his life in the same neighborhood he came from. That loss still echoes through the culture. From the outside, it's easy for people to say Jim didn't do enough, but anyone who's tried to pull somebody away from street life knows it's complicated. You can hand someone a blueprint, connect them to opportunity, put money in their pocket, show them a new lane, and they still might not leave what they're used to. Jim has always said he tried. He gave Stack chances, support, genuine love, but Stack stayed tied to the block that raised him. That's not a simple narrative. Then came the whispers, people claiming Jim adopted Stack's wave, his flow, his whole vibe. Jim shut that down every time. He said it wasn't stealing, it was honoring his brother's energy and carrying it forward with respect, and you could see the pain whenever he addressed it. So when Yayo dragged Stack's name back into the spotlight, that crossed a line. That wasn't rap talk anymore. That was personal territory. By the time Jim sat down with Bleak, the tension was already loaded. The moment Yayo's name came up, Jim's demeanor shifted. No hesitation, no softening it. Memphis Bleak tried to keep the temperature steady, but Jim was locked in and ready to respond. He was locked in and ready to unload. You could hear it in his tone. That wasn't random emotion. That was something he'd been holding on to for a while. Jim started off calm, saying his team is straight, his family is good, and all that talk about who feeds who? Straight nonsense. We don't need anybody to feed us. We feed ourselves. That Harlem confidence rang through every word. Then Jim turned it up, and the shots weren't subtle. He went right at Yayo's pride. He joked about his money, his looks, even his hygiene, said he had enough lotion for every bump on his face. It sounded funny on the surface, humor with an edge, and even Bleak cracked a small smile. But Jim wasn't joking at his core. Underneath the comedy was real frustration. For Jim, this wasn't about punchlines, it was about self-respect. He wanted it clear that he built his situation from scratch. No handouts, no charity, no silent sponsor cutting checks. That's why it hit different when Yayo implied he was living off somebody else's name. That narrative didn't sit right. And let's keep it real. Yayo's original point wasn't even that Jim was broke. It was about the people around him. He questioned whether Jim's circle was really thriving together the way he claims, but Jim didn't really tackle that angle directly. Pride grabbed the wheel. If he had slowed down and addressed that calmly, the whole energy might have shifted. Maybe that conversation could have gone deeper. It could have turned into a real discussion about how fame distorts loyalty and how the industry blurs the line between support and independence. But once that switch flipped, Jim wasn't thinking logic. He felt disrespected, and when that button gets pressed, the Harlem in him shows up instantly. His voice rose, his body tightened. This didn't feel like performance, it felt personal. Years of built-up frustration spilling out on camera. Jim made it clear, he doesn't answer to Jay-Z, 50 Cent, or anybody. He built his brand brick by brick. That was the energy, pure defiance. He wanted it understood that he's not standing under anyone's umbrella. Then the tone shifted from debate to pressure. Jim started aiming directly at Yayo's loyalty to 50. He said Yayo's been riding behind 50 since day one, playing passenger his entire career. "You've been riding passenger your whole career," snapped Jim. "Listen to this, while I've been out here steering my own lane." That line hit like a punch. Everybody knows 50 Cent is viewed as the general, so being tagged as his shadow is basically saying you never stood on your own 2 feet. The energy in the room shifted instantly. You could almost feel the air get heavier. Even Memphis Bleak looked uneasy. It wasn't playful banter anymore. It was real tension. Jim moved past defending himself. Now he was challenging Yayo's loyalty to 50, making it clear he believes Yayo never earned his stripes without 50 standing beside him. That's when it became obvious this wasn't just about a few spicy comments. This was old ego, old pride, and scars from beef that never really healed. Jim and Yayo have had each other's names in their orbit for years. Back in the early 2000s, when the Diplomats and G-Unit ruled the mixtape era, there was real tension behind those bars. Those weren't playful rhymes, those were coded messages tied to real-life issues. So when Jim tapped back into that energy, it felt like reopening a wound people thought had closed. Now Yayo didn't jump online yelling or crashing out. He moved with calculation.